Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about a certain well-known feminist that's been in the news recently. No, not that one. This one. This is Chanty Binx, a Canadian feminist who is very open about her viewpoints. She opened a blog on Tumblr called Social Justice for the Win on January of 2011, where she talked about her viewpoints on feminism and men, as well as the men's rights activist movement, or MRA. But what really made Mrs. Binx known to the world started on November 16, 2012 AD. At that time, there was an event being held at the University of Toronto regarding men's rights. One of the speakers was a prominent writer and educator named Warren Farrell, who was there to outline his theory on why men were being disadvantaged in Western society. Feminists, including Mrs. Binx, had found out about said event and decided to protest it. And by protest I mean having students barricade the door to try to keep speakers from going in, and pulling a fire alarm to try to get everyone out of the building. Once everyone was outside, Mrs. Binx and the feminists then proceeded to confront those that were attending the MRA event, basically resulting in her screaming and shouting at them and constantly telling them to shut up.
MRAs should be, if you shut the fuck up and let me read my list, the assumption that women are naturally better caregivers is part of patriarchy. How are we trying to take away their rights?
Why?
Can you shut the fuck up for a second too? Now, if you would shut the fuck up for the 50th billionth time, bullshit. You hate sexism, but you're an MRA. Okay, no, point taken. We win. The assumption that wives should make babies instead of money is part of patriarchy. The idea of certain people are inherently more valuable than other people because of superficial physical attributes is part of patriarchy. I don't know if you're noticing a theme. Patriarchy.
Yeah, you keep
Not done.
During Chanty's screaming match with the MRAs and attendees of the event, someone was videotaping her in the crowd. And on April 5th, 2013, a user named 18upper uploaded the video onto YouTube. 12 days later, another user named Bane666AU uploaded a video in which Binx was seen confronting, or in this case, screaming, at a Christian street preacher during a gay pride parade in Toronto.
What did I say to you?
You're insulting our minds by being here,
You have the respect and you're swearing.
I don't give a fuck!
I know you don't.
I fucking swear at you because you're being a fucking asshole, and you know
And what did I say to you?
It doesn't matter what you're saying to
I didn't even say anything to this girl and I'm insulting her. What did I say?
Because of these videos, Mrs. Binx became the laughingstock of the internet, thus given the nickname Big Red, and considered to be the embodiment of virtually everything wrong with feminists. But why bring her up? Well, it turns out that Mrs. Binx is back in the news, this time for having an image of her posted online from her being in a liquor store. And according to Mrs. Binx, in the 3 years since those videos have been posted, she has been undergoing a constant barrage of hate-filled comments by people she thinks are threatening her life. City News in Toronto had found out about it and decided to make a news story about the whole affair. So, we're going to watch this story and see what these news reporters have to say. Now with that out of the way, let's get started.
Good evening, I'm Cynthia Mulligan. We begin with an exclusive City News story, one that began 3 years ago here at U of T in the St. George and Harvard area. Now imagine you're in a public space, somebody takes a video of you and posts it on YouTube. That's actually not uncommon, but in this case, that video went viral and sparked a barrage of online hate.
Right away, the reporter is using an appeal to emotion argument to ask this question. How would you feel if you received harsh comments because someone posted a video of you online? The problem with news media, such as websites and TV channels, is that they tend to suffer from one or more of the following flaws, which include, but not limited to, news reporting that focuses more on sensationalist stories, such as murders, a bias towards either one viewpoint or another, i.e. liberal versus conservative, or reporting facts incorrectly due to faulty sources or bad research.
3 years later, that video is still haunting one woman.
I hope you die of breast cancer.
I look forward to the day your insides are sprayed along a busy sidewalk just so I can laugh at your empty, lifeless carcass.
Although these comments are harmful by nature, we should take them with a grain of salt because of the anonymity the internet allows us. And considering there are 7.4 billion human beings on the planet, you never know who you're going to get. You could get someone who is actually crazy, Or you could just get a preteen who's doing this to try to get you to react or overreact to their antics.
This is the woman on the receiving end of that online vitriol.
They've since made my life pretty much a living hell, where it's like I can't trust people.
Even with her face blurred out, we can still recognize her voice from the video clips. If you really wanted to keep her anonymous, you should have gone the classic clandestine interview route, basically hiding her face in shadow and using a voice modifier.
It all started with this.
So, number one, shut the up for a second.
She's a vocal feminist activist. 3 years ago, she confronted a group of men's rights activists at U of T.
Now, the news reporter said that Mrs. Binx was confronting the attendees of the event, as if she was going to have a debate with them. But as we have seen on the video clips, Mrs. Binx was actually screaming like a lunatic and telling them repeatedly to shut up.
This video was shot and posted on YouTube.
Feminists do not want to be lonely. We do not hate nice guys.
And it went viral.
Considering how she was acting, I am not surprised. People are drawn to anger or confrontation when they see it happening. And if I recall, she was there with other feminists and SJWs to try to stop the event.
With over 1.2 million views and still counting, the online reaction was swift, with hundreds of messages like this.
Gag, rape, and gut.
Notice how they're using only the most violent-sounding comments that they could find in the videos and on the Tumblr pages, when in fact, there are other comments they could have chosen, like these.
I tell one dude to shut up, impolitely. Don't get me wrong, I knew.
You were pretty vocal.
I was pretty vocal, I was pretty rude, I'm not gonna lie about that. And
That's an understatement.
I won't deny that, but at the same time, it was still just a war of words.
A row of words that resulted in you being the butt of many a joke on the internet.
She found the deluge of hate from the video crushing and went underground, not going to any protests for the past 3 years, hoping to fly under the radar.
Which is one of the reasons why you need to be careful how you act, because you never know when you might do something embarrassing and somebody decides to post it on the internet.
Fast forward to now, someone found her again. While she was buying a bottle of wine at an LCBO, they took this screen grab of the security video and posted it on Facebook. She believes it was the friendly LCBO employee who helped her a few weeks ago in the store. The post states, "Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the U of T feminist sensation from about 2 years ago. I deliberately asked her if she needed help to confirm her voice. And my God, everything checks out."
So if I understand correctly, an employee at the LCBO liquor store had recognized Miss Binx from other videos, decided to confirm identity under the guise of helping her, then went back to the security footage and obtained a screenshot of said footage still, then posted it online to basically announce to the world, "Hey, I found Miss Binx again!" If you look at the news story, you'll find out that the LCBO store is doing an investigation of the incident. Knowing the outcome, I'm going to guess that they're going to fire the employee for posting said image on the internet.
This is such a huge problem, and it's bigger than this one particular LCBO employee. It's an issue of, women getting harassed, especially feminists, getting harassed by men, and in particular, people who are anti-feminist.
Mrs. Binx, you were filmed in public screaming at those attending the MRA event at the University of Toronto and constantly telling the people to shut up whenever they try to counter your arguments. You were antagonizing the patrons, thus you started the fight. Whatever comments you received afterwards was a response to your actions.
It's a huge thing that oftentimes we ignore, and we don't take it seriously.
We don't take you seriously because whenever you confront those you disagree with, you do so in a manner that makes you look like a screaming lunatic. If you just calm down and act like a rational person, then we'd be a little more inclined to hear you out.
For 3 years she's been silent. She's afraid of getting another deluge of hate mails.
Well, that's just human nature. Even if you're the nicest person on the planet, there's bound to be at least one person that's going to send you hate mail because they either disagree with your viewpoints or because they just want to start trouble.
But she also wants her voice back.
Staying silent gets me nowhere. So You know, I'm still taking heat while I'm staying silent, so I might as well speak up.
The video ends with the reporter stating that the store is currently investigating the matter at hand, and since it is an employee issue, they're not going to be releasing any further information. Anyway, that concludes tonight's video, so thank you for watching and see you next time!